Just let it rip.
Well, who have I got with me here today?
Brad Garrett, how you doing?
Brad Garrett. Now, I got to say it. The same name as the actor. You even look like him to some degree.
I get that a lot. I get that a lot.
Your IG, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because every now and then I have friends who message me when they go to Vegas, and I'll get the famous picture of the Brad Garrett Comedy Club, and they're underneath going, "I didn't know you had this comedy club." I cannot tell you how many times
Are you serious?
I have gotten that text from people that I know, so it's crazy.
Man, oh man.
I've never met him. I literally just had an incident, honestly, that happened. It was so funny. So I was looking for. I have a friend of mine who is a musician. Jason Ryan is his name. He's a lead guitarist for a band out in Vegas. They play all over the place. They're a good band. He's gonna kill me because I can't remember the name of the band off the top of my head. But I do know him. But long story short, he wrote my intro and outro tracks for my podcast, and I was just looking at other musicians, and these guys just messaged me out of the blue. They're from Australia, and they were like, "Yeah, love the fact that you follow us on Instagram, blah 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 blah." So I'm thinking the whole time, "Oh, that's cool, man. It was into the show, not a big deal."
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. So I'm having this whole long conversation with them over a couple of days. Well, finally he writes me back and he says, "Man, we just loved you and everybody loves Raymond."
Oh my! All that time.
All this time I thought, man, he's talking to me because he likes who I am and likes what I'm doing. I'm like, thanks, I'm Brad Garrett, the comedian. Great.
Dude, that's how I came. I like, you started following me. I was like, Brad, don't you have a check mark? I don't know.
Yeah, I have a verified check
mark. And I
mark.
was like, that it can't be real. I looked, I was like, yeah, that's a fake. So I blocked you. I was like, okay. And then I have a couple accounts.
Just about like 80% of the women on Instagram. No, I'm just kidding.
And I was like, well, so then you popped up again on another account. I was like, come on, man. Somebody's just playing with me. And I looked again. I was like, Lakeland, Florida. I was like, uh-oh. So I unblocked you, and then we started chit-chatting back. Right. And I was like, dude, he's got the same name. He looks like it. And I was like, man, oh, man.
I'm just a lot shorter, chubbier. The same age, I guess.
Probably funny.
Yeah. I don't know. He's probably more funny than I. He landed a job in Hollywood, so he's got to be more funny. And he has his own comedy club. So.
Oh, he does?
Okay. Yeah. So, hey, works for me.
You never know.
Yeah,
you never know. Do you like comedy?
I love comedy, but I love old school comedy. And the problem I have with comedy today is that I feel like powers to be, I'll just be nice and say that they have taken the voice away from comedians to let them just talk how we really think.
That's right. You have to hold.
We don't say what we don't think, or we don't say what we think anymore. And I think that's a problem with comedy is they're not really able to say what they think. There's a few comedians that get away with it. Bill Burr, who I absolutely love.
Yeah.
But you're not going to see the Eddie Murphys. You're not going to see those guys anymore, the Richard Pryors, the guys from my day. Showing my age here, but
Rogan does.
Rogan does because he doesn't care, but he also has such a huge following, and he has so much power because of his podcast and being affiliated with the UFC, which and Dana White is actually
FU money.
Yeah, he's got that FU money, and so when you have that kind of power, you gotta get away with it as long as you don't get too extreme. So you can get away with stuff, but I just don't feel like you see the same type of comedy that we would all go, yeah, I remember that. I've done that. You know what I mean? Because now they kind of soft.
I've gone to a couple of comedy shows. Even some of the comedy shows themselves, they do that political, and I can't say what I want to say.
It's kind of like athletes. I pay to go watch you play football or play baseball. I don't pay to watch you talk about politics. I'm one of those guys. I don't even like talking about a lot of politics on my own podcast, just because everybody has a different viewpoint. I hit on it a little bit today when I had mine, but it was very brief. I said, hey, we can talk about that, but most people, I'd rather just stick to the stuff that
I agree.
Most people want to say, but they don't really say.
They hold back, and you can tell they're holding back too, because I was into a show and I listened. I'm like, oh man, I got a great punchline. And after the show, I go up and say the punchline and said, oh man, come on, like, are you a comedian or are you a baby here? Come on. And so I never went back.
You get crucified. Yeah, that's the problem. You really do get crucified these days for. I mean, I get it. You have to be responsible for some of the things you say, but you also kind of come on, lighten up, take a joke.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. That's why you went to a comedy club. I mean, you sit in the front row. It's like the people that get mad when they sit in the front row when you get heckled by the comedian. I'm like, when you sit up there, it's kind of like going to SeaWorld. You're going to get splashed if you sit in the front row. Well, he's going to do the same thing to you. If you're wearing something that might be jacked up, he's going to make fun of you.
That's right.
You know, and you just got to learn to laugh and go,
And loosen up a little bit. Take a little alcohol.
Take a little alcohol.
This guy set the joke up so perfect. He come over and he said, if I can remember, I'm gonna try to avoid it. He says online, he goes, look, I'm gonna tell you honestly, my mom and my dad are first cousins. Okay, it's just known. We're first cousins. So I'm just gonna get that out there. We're first cousins. And he said, I didn't know until I submitted my my DNA to Ancestry.com to come back. My mom and dad are first cousins. I was like, oh, that's funny. I said, maybe you should go to Ancestry.com next time. You know, and he so I was like, what are you talking about, dude?
That's hilarious, actually.
I was like, dude,
Next time
it is, yeah.
well,
He didn't like it.
my real question, I've been like, hey, you grew up in Polk County then, huh?
Yeah, I should have, if I was, it hit me.
Yeah.
We were in the Polk Theater, by the way.
There you go. I hear you on that one.
Yeah. So where are you originally from?
You know, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and then I moved to Florida. I've been here since about 2 years of age, and I've lived all over. I lived in Altamont Springs, grew up mostly in West Melbourne, Cocoa Beach area,
Okay.
and then moved to Lakeland. Probably when I was, I want to say, about 12, I would say, and I've been here ever since.
Oh, I wish I could say the same thing, man. I love this place, man. But I grew up in Cincinnati area.
Ah.
Come down here.
Been through there a couple times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Ohio.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. I mean, it was just like Lakeland, if you ask me.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Especially those rural areas. I mean, you start getting south of Toledo and you start driving down near Lima and
oh yeah, Lima was in our
and Findlay and all that down there. I mean, there's nothing but farmland out there and little poke towns.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it kind of reminds me of like how Mulberry used to be
Oh, okay.
before
Starting
started
to pick
before Super Walmart came.
Yeah.
in, if you remember that.
Yeah. Hamilton, Ohio used to be a Fort Hamilton during the
Yeah.
Spanish Indian War, and so there's the Miami River goes through there.
hmm
And so I joined the Army. I got out of the Army. My mom and dad transferred down here to Tampa, and I said, "There's nothing in Florida or in Ohio for me. I'm going to try Florida. Girls and beaches. I can."
You're right. Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
bikinis and sunshine.
That's right. I went to school for a while, and then I met my wife, and quit school, started the family thing, and I love it, man. I absolutely love it. I just can't claim that I'm from here. I just can't claim that I like. It's not good, man.
I always say if you've been here for the majority of your life, 3/4 of your life, yeah, you're from Lakeland.
Yeah.
Let's just
There
face
you
it,
go.
you've been here. I mean, you've seen the changes. I mean, Lakeland has grown so much. I mean, since I've been here, and it's insane. I can remember again, this is for your older people my age and stuff, but I remember we used to have where the Sunoco is over off Hallam. It used to be the Magic Market, and everybody out of high school would go hang out at the Madge, is what we would call it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how old I am. But I remember just when Imperial Lakes was the only thing out there off about Shepherd,
Wow.
even through that area.
Yeah, that's way. My wife tells me because she's from Plant City.
Mhm.
She told me that they used to come over here to Memorial Boulevard. The church, the mall used to be the mall and everything.
Yes, it used to be the Lakeland Square Mall. Yeah, it was crazy. And it used to be busy. It used to be real busy. That side of town just kind of went downhill. Is the original Red Lobster,
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah,
Is
I live right
off
by
of
that.
Parker. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so that was there, and then there was the Foxfire. I think it was like the high-end restaurant in Lakeland. It was right
Oh,
across the
wow.
street. Yeah, it was. I go way back. I think I worked there at 16 years of
No
age too.
kidding.
Yeah, bussing tables or something. 'Cause
They're starting to, I don't know if you know, but they got this new project that's on the table now. From I-4 to Lake Park, or they're gonna redo the whole damn thing, dude. They're investing
Really?
millions and millions of dollars being invested. Yeah. I've heard rumors they're tearing down a couple of those hotels where it's kind of cheap and they're gonna build some real stuff there.
Yeah, there's that whole corridor through Memorial Avenue needs a facelift.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sad when it happened. I mean, I feel like it's happening right now on the north side to the Lakeland Square Mall.
Yeah.
It's turning into what that used to be. When you start seeing churches move into malls,
Yeah.
that mall's getting a death sentence.
They put a facelift on that mall across the street from the church to the mall. That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And then they tore down an old courthouse, and you see they knocked down the old Orange building right there.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, but it's growing very, very rapidly. I mean, to the point to where the streets, I feel like I wish the city could get it under control just a little bit better. We're just busting the
It's
seams.
on the table.
I mean, because I mean, you bring in the airlines like Avila, they're great. I've flown them; they're fantastic. Great airline. The only thing I see like people talk about online is just the lack of schedule. You know, as
Yeah,
far as as far as the
they need
schedule,
the
which is a
people.
little tough. Like originally was planning to fly out of Lakeland, and they just dropped the Atlanta route. So Avila, please bring it back.
There you
But I
go.
wanted to fly to Atlanta, so I could rent a car and drive up to the south or northern part of Georgia, and spend a couple 3 or 4 days up there on vacation. But I was saying, man, it's so easy to fly to Lakeland.
It may be back.
Yeah.
It may be back.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know if you've driven to Tampa or Orlando as of lately, but it takes forever to get there now because we're just
Yeah.
busted at the seams. The roads
Yeah,
just
my-
need a facelift.
My wife and my son work at Busch Gardens.
Mhm.
We go out there all the doggone time.
Yeah, I worked there too.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I worked there like 17 years of age, 17, 18 years of age. I worked there for a little bit. I worked a photo booth,
Oh, cool.
you know, where Flume ride is.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
The Stanley Falls, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
If my memory serves me right. But yeah, worked there too.
My son, he loves roller coasters. I worked for Disney for a few years, right when he was at that impressionable age. He
Mhm.
got to ride everything he wanted at Disney. And man, he loves roller coasters. So now he operates them on too. He's a control panel guy and he loves it.
I got a story for you on that one.
Let's hear it.
So my business partner and I, we we go with our wives. We were talking so much smack about how much we love roller coasters because we really do. We're like adrenaline junkies. We get on the Montu, and I've never laughed so hard in my life. First, sorry, Mike, I'm going to sell you out on this one, but we get in there and we were at our heaviest in our life. You know, we were pretty big. You know, I was up at 224. I think he was pushing 260, somewhere 270 for him. You know, which is pretty big. I'll never forget this little girl tries to get him in the seat, and she's pushing down the seat, trying to put it on his gut, and so they had to move to the big person seat, and I'm dying laughing. I'm cracking up. So we call it a ride. We go on the Montu. We get off it together. Our heads are spinning. And I've never felt like that in my life on roller coasters. I've usually been like, man, let's ride it again. And I was like, so I messed with him. I was like, you want to go again? He goes, absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely.
It took us about 20 minutes to recover from that first
Oh,
roller
yeah.
coaster. And then, but you know, I was a junkie, and then the last roller coaster I went on was the Manta SeaWorld.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta admit that ride at Disney, the new one that is, I never can remember. It's a raccoon. There's a raccoon that drives a spaceship.
Oh,
Movie.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dude,
Yeah.
that is the best ride I've ever ridden in my life. Dude, that is the awesome.
Is it good?
Oh my God.
So it's
I
better than
remade
Aerosmith
last-
because they redid it, right? That used
No,
to-
brand
no,
new.
it's brand new. That's right.
That I renewed my pass for another year because I just want to ride that ride. It's the only one
It's
I
that
can
good?
ride. It's that
All right,
good.
geez,
I'm shocked.
My wife wants to go to Disney, and I keep telling her no, it's too expensive. I don't like
yeah.
it anymore.
That's the only reason. Everything else, but that ride right there, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's a Disney ride. I'm shocked that it's a Disney ride because it's
Now you got me intrigued. I'm sitting
Dude.
here going, okay, I'm gonna have to go check this out.
one day. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's addictive, but we go over there just for that ride. I couldn't believe it. Dude, the whole ride is a giant television screen. The whole ride is a television. It's indoor, like Space Mountain, except it's smooth. You spin, you go upside. Oh, dude, and my back, I have a really bad back, and I can handle it.
Really?
Oh, I highly recommend it.
Oh man.
I wish it was over here.
I'll have to go by myself. My wife won't ride rides
Oh,
with me.
yeah.
She's not a junkie at all. She doesn't.
It's smooth, and I got a bad back, and it won't hurt you. It won't do nothing.
I'll have to check it out.
So, tell me more about your podcast. You've got a podcast. What's the name of it? How can people subscribe and tell us about it?
Well, I'll give you a little bit of a quick
Okay,
backstory.
sure.
But my business partner and I, we decided we wanted to do a podcast 2 years ago, and so we came up with, well, since it's Brad and Mike, we came up with, and we knew we wanted to do a podcast daily, so we said, hey, the Daily BM.
There you go.
So you put to it had a nice innuendo in there. Like people always think we're talking about bowel movements.
Yeah.
But we always say we are talking,
There you go.
poop.
Yeah.
We are talking poop and every day. So, but it's really the Daily Brad and Mike is what
Brad
it
and
really
Mike.
stands for. But everybody took it that way, so it took off, and we did it for about 2 years. Our co-host Eric Collins, who used to do work for 102.5 The Bone out of Tampa, he passed away just last January. So we tried to do it for an extra year. We it was fine, it was great, but it was becoming such a heavy load doing daily content.
I can imagine.
Almost like a news source. So it's, I mean, you run out of things to talk about at some point. Even though I'm a heavy talker, you still run out of things to talk about. Um, so then we stopped. We stopped back in January of this year. Well, then I kind of got the itch, and Mike gave me his blessing because I kind of felt weird. I kind of felt awkward about doing it without him. And he's the one that brought it up. Said, "Man, you should really do it and get back and do it again. It might take you a little bit of time, but you'll be fine." So then I said, "All right." So I was sitting there just talking to ChatGPT.
There you go.
I was just talking to ChatGPT like a conversation, like I was talking to a human. I know that's not pathetic. I am sometimes.
And
So
how
like,
was the
hey,
response?
the response was great. So I said, "Hey, listen." So I finally said, "Listen, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. This is where I'm at. Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Hey, that's a great idea." And tell him, I said, "Can you give me some ideas? Just using my name." And he gave me a bunch of like. I said, "It narrowed down to 10 because it gave me like 50, and I was like, ugh, too much to read through." And one of them was the Brad Garrett Effect because I said one more prompt I put in there. I was like, kind of want to make it like the Joe Rogan experience, but don't want to be a copycat.
Right.
So that's when he was like, "Hey, the Brad Garrett Effect. This is the one I think." And I went,
I like that.
bingo, sold. So I started that. I'm about 4 episodes in. So far, I've brought on just local podcasters, from around. But I plan on branching out and reaching out to more people in every industry. From it could be, local news anchors to anyone in every.
So the topic is just whatever.
It's whatever I decide that I feel like needs to be talked to. Sometimes I try to follow those trends that are happening. Like I talked about the Blue Origin flight, with Katy Perry.
Oh,
And
yeah,
stuff. And I talked about that a little bit. We talked about space travel. Today's episode, we talked about college tuition, things of that nature, the rising costs of college tuition, and then we talked about movies and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And TV shows that are gone that we would still love to see.
A lot of entertainment.
Yeah, just a lot of entertainment. But a lot of it like a lot of trending events too that we like to talk about that happened maybe the week prior and or just like over the weekend. Whenever.
How on your first? How many episodes did you guys have that first round? A couple hundred? Did you say?
No, we had probably about 300 and just over 350.
How was the viewership on that?
It was crazy. We had a pretty decent amount of subscribers from what I recall. We were averaging about. I'm think about this for a second. I want to say we were doing about even from 25,000 to $30,000 a month.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes it easy. The numbers are a little misleading because when you're doing it daily, that number is going to be heavily saturated because it's daily. So you're getting downloads every day, and it could be that episode, this episode, this episode, that episode. So not like a standard podcast that might go once a week or once a month. So the data's a little off.
Okay.
I was like the analytical data isn't really
But see,
fair.
people come in and they subscribe and they might listen to a episode last year or whatever.
Correct.
Okay.
And we left it up so people could go still listen. I mean, I haven't checked the analytics in a while, obviously, but I'm sure it's dropped off some. I transformed our Instagram page, and we were only down to like 1,000 views. No, actually not even. I want to say it was like 900 views per month. Now we're at almost 4,000 views a month just in a short pan. Because I'm getting more involved in posting.
I don't have any views of Spotify and all that. I don't have any.
Right.
Almost none. But the YouTube videos, which is the podcast, is 20 and 30. So I can't imagine a couple hundred being disappointing. I'd be thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. The one thing is, I think with our podcast at Seven Aside is that we talked about everything and anything. So people just didn't know what we were going to talk about that particular day. I mean, because we could be talking about, swingers one day.
Sure.
The next day we could be talking about train rides.
You
You know what I mean? Yeah. So they were always like intrigued. What are these two guys going to talk about today? Or those three?
Yeah.
But so we'd be all over the place, and sometimes we might talk for 30 minutes because we try to limit a 30-minute episode. Sometimes it might be an hour.
It sounds a lot like a radio station. Some of the guys on the radio are old time. They whatever that day they start talking about, and whatever it takes to keep your attention and make sure you're interesting. Tune in the next day.
I always, in the back of my mind, I always wanted to do radio. I thought it would be fun to do it. I never really went after it. I mean, like for instance, like Eric and Mike, 98.3 Max. I talked to them a few times, play golf with them, stuff like that.
Oh wow.
But Eric actually came on my show even back before then, back in 2009, when he was over here at All Communications. And he came on our show. We had a sports show called the Barley and Hop Sports Connection. And actually, my two guys that were on my show on that one, we were streaming on Ustream TV, the whole 9 yards. And Chris Robinson, called Dirty Red, that's his nickname. That's how most people in this town know him than our age group. But he moved up to North Florida, so he's living near St. Augustine. But the other guy, Steve Belts, he's a sous chef over at Grasslands.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so it's a small world, but we did that show for about 2 years too. We were actually in the Lakeland Ledger having a full.
Oh, wow.
But I've always been one of those go-getter guys, so I don't sit back and wait for things to happen. I usually go and tackle them. They were wondering how we could grow the show back then, 2009, and so I said, man, I'm gonna call the newspaper. I just called and spoke to a reporter and said, hey man, we got a show. We want you to come out here, sit with us. I called Eric, or actually I emailed him. That's how I met him. I just emailed him, reached out.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I'd love to have him on your show. He came on our show. We talked sports. We talked baseball and things like that.
Yeah,
I believe Eric's a Cubs fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I believe he's a Cubs fan.
Well, I've been listening to Eric for 25 years. Eric, I think Mike was last 15 years, but Eric was there before that, 20 years, 25 years. Dude, I'm a fan of theirs.
Yeah, Mike does a stand-up.
Yeah, he's still got his own place.
He's doing it. He's doing, what is it? Is it Laugh Out Loud?
Laugh Out Lounge.
Laugh Out Lounge. Yeah, that's right.
And I was there like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they do live podcasting, I believe.
Yeah, they're giving up that since the radio thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're good dudes, man. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
Eric's got the classic, I'm Eric.
He's got that golden voice.
Yeah, obviously he's got that radio voice,
Yeah.
So he's got the classic voice.
And a good guy too.
Yeah, he is. They're both good dudes, man. I like them.
I think when they took, I'll admit this, but I look forward to listening to them every day because I'm like psychologically missing them.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap, they took them off the air. Where are they at? And so I'm like, damn, where's that voice? So I'll listen to their podcast just to hear the voice because
you get used to something.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. I don't know the ins and outs. I haven't spoken to them directly. I don't know the ins and outs of what happened over there, but I can honestly say I stopped listening to 98.3 when they left because I just had no reason to listen at that point because I think they're just doing more turnkey music and stuff with some commercials in between now. Kind of like how Pandora does and things like that.
What really bothers me is this freaking whisper, man. Hey, you're gonna send it.
It drives you crazy, doesn't it?
Oh, I can't tell you. But anyway, in my opinion, typical corporate crap. They want to cut costs.
Yeah.
Because they got the talent.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't need to do that.
No, they could have kept them there. I mean, like I said, Mike's, I reached out to Mike. I'm just waiting to hear back from him. I shot him an email just, I think, last week. I know he's busy too, but I was like, hey, man, I'd like to have you come on my show. I was like, it'd be great just for him and I just to cut up together and have some laughs because, it's been a while.
Yeah.
We got some catching up to do.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is cool, dude. And how long do your episodes usually last?
I aim for 30 minutes. I mean, I try to get to the point, have a quick show. The thing is that I've realized, because I know I am this way, is the attention span of people has kind of shrunk, especially online. I think the average person's attention span is 1 second. Like 1 second.
I heard 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. It's gotten worse. It's if you don't grab their attention to stop the scroll right then and there.
I'll admit to.
Yeah, they're going to go like this.
Yeah.
There's just so much content out there today that they're going to flip right by. So you better have something different and original, or something that you're targeting to,
That's
definitely
right.
that they're interested in, or else they're just going to keep.
I think these social media companies, Instagram, TikTok, they must have these counters of milliseconds. How many seconds did someone stay and look at this video? Because I don't do it for but 1 or 2 seconds. And then they, average out how long attention did you keep? It's got to be in milliseconds, like thousands of a second. Because I don't say they're long at all.
It's so fast that I don't think you can even fathom it. The algorithm is smarter than everybody in this whole entire town put together. I mean, it really truly is. It's super intelligent.
That's annoying sometimes too. I get on this subject, get off this subject. I don't want this subject. I'll close it out, try to start again. Same subject comes up.
Well, you have things like Google, and then they all share data together. So when you go search something on Google, boom, it's going to be on Meta next because everybody has all these data points around them. And so you have so many thousands of data points that are just associated with you as an individual.
Yeah.
And so they know. And so that algorithm knows, okay, I know he was looking at this car. So I'm going to go ahead and give them this car. And then what happens is now your TV providers and things like that, like your streaming
It's
services,
coming.
they're like this. Hey, I know he was looking at a Nissan Kicks. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to show him a Nissan Kicks commercial because I want him to buy a Nissan Kicks because I think he's looking at it. So it's highly intelligent. So you better get your point across. So that's the reason why I do 30.
Yeah, I go in there and I think I was able to go in there and find out my history and whatever, clear my history out, start it over. Same crap, man, because if I stay on one video more than a few seconds, then they start to see that, but I don't want that, I don't want to see that. Of course, there's always the cleavage. Okay. Then it'll show back up again.
Yeah, you start getting things you shouldn't be getting, and you're going, I don't know where that's coming from. I don't.
Hey, hon, it wasn't me. It was the cat.
Newsflash, that's when you start searching like cats on a chair. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it starts showing you kitty cats. And you're like, oh, good.
Yeah, I tell my wife.
Yeah.
Honey, it wasn't me. That cat walked right. I just left, when I went to the bathroom, I left it there and that cat must have been.
Yeah, you get those letters just right because I don't have any clue why I went there.
All right, so how can people get a hold of your podcast?
Yeah, they can just basically go on Instagram and search all one word together, the Brad Garrett Effect, CT. I'm also on TikTok. Believe it or not, I have not made stupid videos yet, but they're coming.
All right.
And then I also have an X handle as well, and I also have a Facebook page. That's the same thing, the Brad Garrett Effect. So all I got to do is search it, it'll come right up. I use the came logo for everything's a caricature of my face with sunglasses.
And if you're not careful, you'll think it's a.
Yeah, you'll think I'm somebody else, and trust me, I'm starting to get some emails that way, and that's that. But I also have a marketing company too that I'm a business partner in here locally.
Okay.
Which is Peak PEAK Marketing and Branding. We've been in business for over 25 years.
Oh,
in
wow.
Lakeland. We do everything from digital to direct mail to just anything you can think of in advertising.
Is that peakmarketing.com? Or?
It's Peak PEAK, the number 4, and then results.com.
Okay.
But yeah, we've been doing that for quite some time. Really love it. I was in industrial automation for 17 years, and then moved about kind of my own company for about 4 years that I used to have here. And then I got involved with Peak and pedaled down, and we just kept on driving through. And it's been a heck of a ride. It's been fun. I really enjoy the marketing because I love helping people succeed, no matter what it is. I think if more people had that thought process, when you go into things, a lot of people will say, "Oh, okay, it's me." But realistically, I always come back to this one phrase, and the way to get ahead is by helping others. So if you want to get ahead, you help more people, because the more you help people, the more ahead you'll get.
I agree.
And so sometimes I take it too personal, because in marketing, it's like throwing mud against the wall. Some of it's going to stick, some of it's going to fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And anybody tells you any different, run, because they're just telling you what you want to hear.
Right.
And I see it every day where they just get promised the world, and I don't do that. I just tell them, here's your realistic expectation, and this is what.
Nowadays, you have to back it up with the numbers because you can see the numbers.
Correct. Well, we run like analytics that they can look in real time, and they can see how things are doing. They can see how ads are doing. They can see what the cost per spend is doing, and all those things. I like to be transparent. I don't like to. There's a lot. I can tell you, we have a client now that we have recently. I won't mention them, but they literally were getting shammed by a company here locally too. Like literally getting just totally just false information, and they were paying out the wazoo for it. And I just was like, "This is your expectation. Let me turn you over to Mike, who does this."
I've seen it myself.
And they have been with us now for 4.5 months. They love us. Because we have had a bad month, but we are transparent about it. Hey, this is why we're correcting it, and we're moving forward. And they were like, "No problem, let's do it." And then boom, successful month. So just identifying problems.
I agree 100%.
Right.
Well, man, I look forward to being on your podcast.
You are definitely coming on this show, brother. Thank you for having me on.
So,
yeah, for sure.
Thank you, co-host, for letting me use that.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.